Hi, I'm Janine.
Bob.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
Denise.
Dee.
Lorraine.
Buddhism is a tradition that focuses on personal and spiritual development. Buddhists strive for a deep insight into the true nature of life and do not worship gods or deities. They have four noble truths that comprise the essence of Buddhist teachings, though they leave much left unexplained. They are the truth of suffering, truth of origin of suffering, truth of cessation of suffering, and truth of path of cessation of suffering. First, the first noble truth is suffering. The three sites of suffering are old age, sickness, and death. Buddha's real name was Prince Siddhartha, and because of his father, he was confined to stay in the palace. But one day when he stepped out, he saw four things which impacted him: a newborn baby, a crippled old man, a sick man, and a corpse of a dead man. Because he was stuck inside that palace, he didn't realize that people suffer, and when he saw it with his own eyes, he couldn't believe it. During his meditation, he realized that life is suffering. The reason for his being, the fact that human beings are not perfect. Likewise, the world inhabited by them is also ridden with imperfections. Buddha realized that throughout a human's life, they deal with many forms of suffering, such as old age, sickness and separation from beloved ones, deprivation, encounters with unpleasant situations and people, lamentation, sorrow, and suffering. Humans are subject to desire and cravings. If they get the joy they want, they gain happiness from it. But this joy or pleasure is also short-lived and does not last too long. If it does tend to last too long, the pleasure associated with it becomes monotonous and fades away. Next, we have the second noble truth, which is origin of suffering. This consists of the three roots of evil, which is greed and desire, ignorance and delusion, and hatred and destructive urges. In order for people not to suffer, they have to figure out what is causing the struggles and slowly get it out of your life. Buddha says the basic causes of suffering is the attachment to the desire to have and the desire not to have. As humans, we all have desires and cravings, but it is impossible for all of them to get fulfilled. When a craving is not fulfilled, we get angry, leading to another manifestation of suffering. The same is true for a person who expects good all the time, and who usually receives only good things. But they receive so much good in their life, they want more of it, leading the cycle to continue in a circle. Buddha points out a problem, which is denying desire, or depriving oneself, is like denying life itself. So that you don't deprive yourself, a person must rise above attachments. When a person doesn't know where to put an end to their desires and gives in to them, they become a slave to them. In the fire sermon, the Buddha teaches more about suffering. He says, "Biscus, all is burning, and what is the all that is burning? The eye is burning, forms are burning, eye consciousness is burning, eye contact is burning. Also, whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with eye contact for its indispensable condition, that too is burning. Burning with what? Burning with the fire of lust, with the fire of hate, with the fire of delusion. I say it is burning with birth, age, and death, with sorrows, with lamentations, with pains, with grief, with despairs." Then we have the third noble truth, which is cessation of suffering. Liberating oneself from attachment was the way to extinguish desire. The Buddha taught us that this is what causes suffering. The third noble truth was known as the possibility of liberation. He showed us, as he was an example, that in a human lifetime, this is possible. In the fire sermon, it is stated that Biscus was a noble follower who has heard, sees thus. He finds estrangement in the eye, finds estrangement in forms, finds estrangement in eye consciousness, finds estrangement in eye contact, and whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with eye contact, for its indispensable condition. In that too he finds estrangement. Disenchantment is the definition of estrangement. A Buddhist aims to know sense conditions clearly, as they are without becoming enchanted or misled by them. There are three fires: the fires of greed, fire of delusion, and fire of hatred. In order to extinguish them, you must attain nirvana and reach enlightenment. Nirvana means extinguishing. Nirvana is a state of mind, and if you reach it, you will not disappear immediately to a heavenly realm. Nirvana is without negative emotions and fear, but with profound spiritual joy. The Fire Sermon also states that when he finds estrangement, passion fades out. With the fading of passion, he is liberated. When liberated, there is knowledge that he is liberated. He understands birth is exhausted, the holy life has been lived out. What can be done is done. Of this there is no more beyond. Finally, the fourth noble truth, which is path to the cessation of suffering. This noble truth is Buddhist prescription of the end of suffering. It consists of a set of principles known as the Eightfold Path or the Middle Way. The Eightfold Path avoids indulgence because the Buddha didn't find it helpful when searching for enlightenment. The first stage is right understanding. In this stage, you have to accept Buddha's teachings. The Buddha never intended his followers to believe his teachings blindly, but to practice them and judge for themselves whether they were true. The second stage is right intention, which is when you commit to have a proper attitude. The third stage is right speech. You would have to speak the truth and avoid slander, as well as avoiding gossip and abusive speech. The fourth stage is right action. In this stage, you would have to behave in a peaceful manner and refrain from stealing. The fifth stage is right livelihood. In this stage, you would avoid making a living in ways that cause harm, such as exploiting people or killing animals, or trading in intoxicants or weapons. The sixth stage is right effort. You have to cultivate positive states of mind so you are free from an evil state of mind and can prevent them from forming in the future. The seventh stage is right mindfulness. This stage includes developing awareness of the body, sensations, feelings, and state of mind. The eighth and final stage is right concentration, where the developing of mental focus necessary for this awareness. The wisdom groups of the 8 stages are right understanding and intention, the ethical conduct groups are right speech, action, and livelihood, and the meditation groups are right effort, mindfulness, and concentration. The Buddha described the Eightfold Path as a means to enlightenment. Like a raft for crossing a river, once one has reached the opposite shore, one no longer needs the raft and can leave it behind. In conclusion, my speech, I briefly reviewed the 4 noble truths of Buddhism. The truth of suffering, the truth of origin of suffering, the truth of the sensation of suffering, and the truth of the path to the sensation of suffering. Clearly, Buddhists went through a painful and hard time, one with a negative mindset that needs to turn into positivity. Bibliography, I used bbc.co.uk, pbs.org, and zenbuddhism.net.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Janine.
Bob.
Denise.
I'm Dee.
Lorraine.